crazy. I was
A little bit.
this morning. It was sunny out, and somebody I work with lives over in Lake Levine, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, it's pouring over here." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, it rained in Tucson.
That's crazy.
Not super heavy, but enough. Hattie.
That's Arizona for you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Coffee Table Chronicles. Bios the books. Allison, what's up, guys? Lindsay has been under the weather tonight, so you're stuck with Jack and I.
Yay! Just because I'm sitting here doesn't mean I'm tuning your piano.
Oh yeah, please don't. The Hamas doesn't like that.
Oh, very true. So, little foreshadowing for you.
Yeah, exactly. Quick shout out to our sponsor, Americano Ammunition Coffee, best coffee in Arizona. Go order some coffee online, ammoandcoffee.com. Good stuff. I should give Eddie a shout out since he was on last week.
Eddie.
So get your body armor from Mr. Eddie Prest at State 48 Plates. If you mention promo code CTC Patriot, you get 10% off.
He looks bigger in that picture.
He's always got body armor on. Oh boy. Yeah.
You're welcome. Because he's not here. I'm scared of him.
You're scared of him?
I'd be more scared of him in person. I would tease him about that if he was here. What?
Yeah, exactly. He's not a guy to mess with.
No,
so much. Hey, just a reminder too that our very last CTC episode will be July 3rd.
Yeah,
and then we'll be. It doesn't matter to you, though, right?
Call it whatever you want.
And then exactly, we'll be kicking off our new show, Drunk with Facts, starting probably right after that in July.
That would make sense.
We may take a little break, but see,
same time.
I don't know. We might do it a different
bat channel.
Yeah, maybe a different night.
Different bat time. Different bat channel.
Different bat channel.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I should probably log into Rumble. See if anybody's on.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Who's watching? Anybody?
I know. I forgot to do that.
I keep forgetting to tell people this happens.
You don't share it?
I do. I do every once in a while, and then I forget. I was like, I should do that constantly. I actually should set. I bet you this is going to blow my mind, but I bet you there's something that could just automatically do it for me.
Probably.
I feel like in this day and age, there's probably something I could set up that would just send out the reminders constantly to everybody so that I wouldn't have to do it.
Well, I plastered all over Facebook too. So
yeah,
you're not on Facebook much, are you?
Very rarely. And if I am, I don't ever look at my own page. I'm usually, why am I ever on there? I don't even know why I get on Facebook, really.
I do to try to find show content.
That's a good reason. Yeah, no, I don't get on Facebook. I think I get on Instagram more than any of them. It is the just purest, most mindless waste of time watching these little tiny videos and if it is something interesting,
yeah,
I never take the time to go watch the full video somewhere else. It's like, oh, I really would like to know more about that.
Or what sucks, if you do find something interesting, you try to find it, it's gone. It's like gone in 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, if you didn't save it or whatever,
right.
You're just like, I want to see it again. I can't find it. Yeah, no, I know that one. It's almost as bad as part twos and part threes. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
If you had anything interesting to share, you lost me because I have to go search for it or like follow me for part two. Why? That's not true. I followed you. I still couldn't find part two. You're liars.
I was watching Rogan the other day, and he was interviewing Sebastian, the comedian.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What a great show it was. But he was talking about how he averages 4 hours of screen time a day on his phone. And, Sebastian asked him, he said, if it was back in the day when you had TV, would you be sitting in front of your TV for 4 hours? And Joe goes, no, hell no.
No way.
Because it's just our entertainment now is portable. So we take it with us. We're constantly on it. It's constantly a reminder.
When it's split down into these little bite-sized bits where you don't feel like you're overly invested. Because really, seriously, when you see a video that's 40 minutes.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
But you'll watch 300 3-minute videos in one sitting and just be like, why do my eyes hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, because you're frying your brain. It's the bite-sized morsels and just dumb it down. It's really sad. We're such easy creatures to understand, and marketers and advertisers got it figured out. So,
yep, that they did.
Tiny little pieces, part 1, part 2, part 3.
And they say the worst thing you can do is like look at your phone or watch a tablet before you go to bed. They say it's the worst thing that you can do.
Yeah, apparently it does something to do with your biorhythms or whatever. I don't know. I never sleep anymore.
It helps me fall asleep, actually.
My nephew said the same thing, that he'll sit there and watch videos till he falls asleep. And I'm like, if I start watching videos before bedtime, I'm not going to bed.
Really?
No, I just sit there and stay on the phone all freaking night. It's retarded. I can't. Yeah, no.
No, I usually get about 20 minutes in and I'm done. I'm gone. I'd
like to be able to say that I do that, but I don't.
I'll fall asleep with my earpods in, wake up An hour later, drooling all over my iPad.
I save my sleeping for the highway.
There you go.
Sleep when I drive.
Not ideal, but hey.
No, it's really not though. Best way to do it.
What's up, Super Horror Show?
Lindsay looks different. Thank you. That's very nice of you.
A lot hairier than normal, hey.
I don't know about all that. Just different places.
Different places, yes. Lindsay is under the weather tonight, so she's taking a break.
Yeah.
So we can entertain you. And it should be interesting tonight.
Who knows?
So
let's see.
Let's do a couple memes.
Ooh, memes. I like memes.
Yeah, I like memes too. I didn't find a lot this week though. But that was kind of appropriate.
Very, very. Right? And what's interesting, see who knows this. Those headdresses are different factions. They're very specific. Did you know this?
I didn't know that. No.
So the colors and the patterns are specific to who you're dealing with. Like the gray and black one, as I understand it, that's more the Palestinian Hamas, whereas the red ones are I can't remember which one, but they're not the same team.
Like more peaceful or
no. They're the Iran.
Oh, okay.
Or either way, what I understand is those two actually would be kind of like Bloods and Crips kind of kicking together.
Gotcha.
That the colors mean something and the patterns mean something. It's not a generic catch-all. So it's funny when you see people doing this kind of protest stuff together. Like aside from the fact that culturally, there's just no way in hell they'd be accepted by those people. Right. They're not even dressing appropriately for their protests. Sometimes it's very, very amusing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I did not know that fact.
I can't remember who was, because those things are called cafefes or whatever they are. Sure. It always makes me think of Fifi, which is very inappropriate for all my prison folks out there. Anyway.
On to the next.
Sad but true.
Kids who are eating Tide Pods are now old enough to drive, right?
Sad. So what's wrong with this picture?
I don't know.
Oh, he didn't back in. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
He should have backed into the space.
Probably doesn't have a front bumper anymore, but hey.
True.
They're so freaking low these days.
Is that a Tesla?
It's got to be.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
I've seen about 5 Cybertrucks now.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Very jealous.
Crazy.
Very jealous.
That's strange.
I want one so bad.
Do you really?
Oh, I do.
Why?
Why not?
I guess.
They're cool as hell. The electric thing I think is awesome. I hate gas stations. I hate gas prices. And quite honestly, they're goofy looking, but they're cool.
Yeah, but we talked about this before. What's going to happen when everybody goes electric? I mean, the grid's already strained as it is. Just lighting people's houses.
I'm not interested in everyone going electric, and I'm not interested in anybody going green. I could give a shit. I just like the idea of not having to go to a gas station anymore.
True.
Just from a maintenance standpoint, there's like 7 moving parts in the thing. You ever had engine problems?
Oh, yeah.
With a car, what a pain in the ass it is.
Yeah.
Getting that sought out and worked on and the money involved. Like, I like the simplicity of the electric vehicle.
But you don't
it's
think
super simple.
You don't think there's complexity in the way they're designed?
Of course, there's a lot of complexity to it, but I haven't owned one and I haven't had to deal with any maintenance problems with them, so I don't know for certain. But again, my gut feeling, just based on the fact there's only 7 things that move. That's a pretty minimalistic way to go about having mechanical problems. You can only have so many mechanical problems. There's 4 wheels and the motor. 2 in the back if you've got the 3-motor drive system. There's no transmission.
Right.
How many parts are in a friggin' transmission? How many things can go wrong in a transmission?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And so just the simplicity of it is what I like.
Yeah.
Put some power in the batteries, turn it on, drive. I like that. I don't care about all the environmental crap or all the socioeconomic bullshit that people get new about it.
You just think it's cool.
It is cool. I just think it's a great idea. It's efficient. They haul ass. The power is crazy. I get that there's a lot of issues with them getting hacked and, you can't use them for over the road driving because, they'll militarize them or whatever people's fears are. I don't care about that crap. I'm like, I want to enter where I'm going, take a nap and wake up there because I don't think teleporting is going to happen soon, but I think that's as close as we're going to get.
Probably. Well, Lindsay was saying that one of her friends has a Tesla. And something happened to it. And she went to take it in or call them out to get service. And they wouldn't service it because her tires were out of date, even though her tires were still good. They wanted her to buy all new tires before they'd even look at it.
Well, and this was on a Tesla.
Yeah.
I can't say that I think that's good, but I could understand why. From a standpoint of like, Apple's, they're dickheads like that too.
Right.
But their stuff's like, oh, see, you plug this in with an aftermarket cord, so we can't help you, And there's reasons for that. Some of it's just brand loyalty and jerkness, and some of it is I think probably got some purpose to it. proprietary systems or whatever. Wait, who's that? What?
You need a horse that could take you places while you sleep.
Yeah, I mean, if I could get a horse and I could afford a horse to afford to feed and board it,
Right.
I wouldn't be opposed to a horse, but it's got to carry all my shit around for work too, and that's the other part. It's kind of hard.
Am I right? Lindsay jumped on. Am I right that she had to change the tires before they'll come out and fix it? Because I always thought that was kind of weird when I heard that story. I wasn't sure. How much does it cost to replace a battery in an electric?
It costs a lot to replace a battery in an electric car. But what's funny is in at least with some of the Teslas, you can work that into the initial price. When you purchase the vehicle, you can actually buy it so that the battery replacement is done as part of the initial price.
And is there only one battery? There's got to be more than one battery.
It's a battery pack.
I was going to say it's got to be what, 4 or 5 batteries.
Oh, it's a shitload of cells.
But they're big. They're big.
The whole bottom of the car is a battery cell. That's why it's got such a low center of gravity, because the entire bottom of the car is battery cell.
God, that's gonna be expensive.
Well, yeah, it's a few $1,000s, but it's that same way in a Prius. You have to replace the battery in a Prius. It's extremely expensive, and that's the case with any battery of that size. So cars don't have batteries that size. Replace a motor in a friggin' car and then tell me how much a battery costs. Yeah, exactly. It's a hell of a lot cheaper. I got a 6.8 liter diesel engine. Replacing that, I'd much rather replace a $3,000 or $4,000 battery,
right?
Because that motor is like $30,000. It's ridiculous.
As anything, I'm sure.
That's the thing. There's upsides and downsides to everything, and you can love and hate whatever you want. And I'm not trying to convince anybody to do shit. I'm not selling them nothing. I'm interested in it because I have my reasons.
Yep.
And it looks like it's a spaceship.
Hot batteries heat up under load. Yep.
That's also true. Yep. I'm pretty sure they figured that part out.
And they don't perform well in cold weather.
Well, batteries also don't do well when you stab them.
Yeah.
Punch holes in them and they catch on fire. That's a downside.
Yep. That is a downside.
Run cars into walls, they don't run as well either. There's a lot of. I remember when the first time they had one of those Tesla batteries got punctured in an accident, and I'm not trying to convince you crap, bro, but the press on the thing catching on fire was just ridiculous. Just like, this one is on fire, just a fire death traps. It's like, that's one.
Yeah.
How many Chevys blew up today? You know what I mean? Just today.
Yeah.
So that's bad.
We always see car fires on the road.
I mean, there's nothing's perfect. There's always gonna be accidents. Just like we were talking about that before with the Waymos, and like, all the accidents have been like, I don't think so.
As many of them as driving around, probably not. When you compare the ratio.
And I just don't buy that. Like, I don't think they're running people off the road. I just maybe, but I've been run off the road by human beings plenty of times. So
somebody posted something on Facebook last week, and I tried again one of those videos. I went back to try to find. I couldn't fucking find it. Right. But so they're at a stoplight, and they're filming this Waymo car coming. They're turning, but they turn into the opposite lane. It was so weird.
So the Waymo turned into the wrong lane?
Yeah, it turned into the wrong lane. I think it was on like Central or something, because I think the light rail was split or something. So it turned into the oncoming traffic.
Oh, interesting.
Going that way, yeah. Yeah.
Well, as long as it corrects and doesn't hit anybody. But if it does, then it does.
How are you going to correct that? Go with the light rail?
Well, the only downside to it is that then who do you sue?
Yeah, exactly.
That's really what that boils down to. Is
exactly.
Like, if they smash somebody, it's estimates. Whose estimates?
Model S between 12,000 and 15,000. Holy shit.
I don't know that I believe that, but it's very possible. I know that when they first sold them, you could buy it with a battery replacement.
I don't know. If you look at the solar batteries for your house, they're fucking expensive too. They're like, I want to say like 10 or 15 grand each or something like that.
It ranges, but like you can set up your whole house for $30,000-$40,000 to be completely off grid. Well, you can't technically in town because
per Google.
Yeah, Google can lick my balls.
Google knows all.
Google ain't trying to do nothing. Jack is a closet liberal. Why? Why do you think I'm a closet liberal? Just because I suck dick on the weekends makes me a closet liberal? Oh, no, wait, that's not a liberal thing.
That's not a liberal.
Republicans do that too. That's funny. All right. How is that to be Christopher Columbus?
How'd you like that?
27B. He gave me a hula hoop. No joke. That's 100%. I love his ramblings are so sad.
Right.
I was there, the Great Christopher Columbus when this plane landed on the east coast of California, and you're 27B. Give me a hula hoop. No joke. He's got to yell part of it.
Did you see that he was doing a speech a couple weeks ago, and he said he says 4 more years, right? And then he says pause because he was reading the teleprompter verbatim. And everybody's cheering him on. I'm like, what the fuck?
4 more years, pause.
And everybody's like, no, he didn't say pause. No, he clearly said pause.
He said pause.
Play back.
Grand pause.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's funny.
At least he doesn't read the punctuation yet. Since he doesn't understand it. So
yeah. Gotta love the Babylon Bee. College students announce indefinite hunger strike for Palestine between 10 a.m. and noon, and also between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. every day except for some light snacking.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Oh man.
Between what that's about right.
Right? Babylon Bee is so funny. The shit they come up with.
Because you'd believe it if it was a real thing. Oh yeah, I can see it.
Exactly.
We're not going to get hungry for him. I mean, criminy. We're on a hunger strike. Means no Lunchables.
No Lunchables.
Just insane.
Again,
it's that whole I want to be part of something. I want to show people what I'm serious about this stuff, but not really. I want to do anything that matters because it might make me uncomfortable.
It's happening all over the country, though. It's not just like 1 or 2 states, man.
I know,
it's like
and that's what I'm saying. It's
all over the fucking place.
It's rollerblades. It's Velcro shoes. It's a trend.
It's a trend.
It's a trendy thing. When you're getting on a plane and you're flying over there to do something about it, I believe you.
Right.
Until then, eat shit. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care what you think or your opinions about it. I'm not involved in it. I don't know what's going on over there. I know that in the entirety of my lifetime, I don't recall a part of it where they were like, "Hey, nothing's going on in the Middle East. Everything's cool there." It's like it's trouble in the Middle East. Some degree, and I've never understood it. I don't understand why they hate each other. It all seems ridiculous, and it all seems well out of reach of my ability to change it or affect it in any real way. So I just don't.
Right.
Leave that to the smart kids.
I'm glad you can, but I got to research this shit for the show, so it always fires me up.
It's irritating, but
really
it's like
does.
I can't let it get me that deep because it's just I can't fix these people. When you're stupid enough to be putting on cultural garb that you don't understand what it means. You don't know what it is. Essentially be like, you put on a Ku Klux Klan outfit because you heard them say something or somebody told you that they're the good guys. You don't know what that means. Obviously, if you're willing to wear it in public, do you have any idea what that garb means? I'd be willing to bet when you look at the fact that there's groups of Palestinian people wearing those garbs, it means something more than you understand. Just put on, anything that's a cultural sort of thing like that. You don't know what you're doing, and
it's like wearing gang colors, or same type of thing. I mean, it has a meaning to it.
Yeah, and people don't take that into account. They just go, "Oh, this is what I saw on TV," and so now I'm one of the cool kids. It's like you don't know. Fortunately, we live in a very protected society, and on a college campus, you're pretty protected as well. That there's nobody that's really going to call you on it, because I guarantee you, if you were over in that part of the world wearing the wrong headdress or whatever, it would have much more severe consequences than you just getting suspended or yelled at or any of that stuff. You can lose your life over that kind of stuff. It's crazy.
It means black belt in Quran.
He's talking about the headdresses, I think.
Oh, okay.
He's drinking for
Mike,
sure.
No, he doesn't drink. I don't think Mike drinks.
We've talked about this before. I don't believe for a second that Mike, if he doesn't drink, something's going on there. He's way too creative to not.
Oh, he's super creative.
Okay.
He's crazy. He's crazy creative.
He has chemicals in his history at the very least.
Have you ever watched his shows that he does?
Oh yeah, I've seen some of it.
Super.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's something in his past, if not in his present. There's an imbalance there for sure.
Yeah. See, told you he doesn't drink.
I know. I believe you don't drink, but there's a chemical issue. You're imbalanced. You're way too creative to just be regular.
So I found this article in the Epic Times today, which I thought was interesting. So it says some Democrats are concerned that the ongoing college protests may jeopardize President Joe Biden's chances of winning a second term. And there's ongoing division within the Democrat Party over how to handle these demonstrations. Some want Biden to take a harder line to call the protests and combat anti-Semitism on college campuses, fearing that the failure to do so would bolster former President Donald Trump's electoral standing. Some progressives, on the other hand, are urging president to defend students' freedom to protect against Israel and demand a ceasefire. Some even expressed concerns that turmoil of Vietnam War era may flare up again. Now, here's my question. How do you compare this to the Vietnam War?
Well, you can't yet, but if we get too involved in it, then you can. Because I believe the issue with the Vietnam War is we didn't belong there. It wasn't our business.
Right.
But we went whole hog, got ourselves involved in a war that we really shouldn't have been involved in, as I understand it. I mean, somebody who was there might know better, but I don't think we had any real business there. And the business that we wound up being in over there turned out to be kind of shady, bad shit. There was I believe some drug trade got involved and some arms deals and some awful stuff that came out of that. But, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Well, and the thing is, and I wasn't alive during that time, so I don't know. I don't know. Did the protesting start after the war started? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After we got involved with the war, or was it going on before the conflict over there escalated and we got involved?
And keep in mind, the amount of information that we had as far as what was going on was so limited compared to what we have now.
Right.
I mean, it's way open book now compared to what it was back then. The reporting, what we know now about it is obviously a lot more. At the time, who could have actually known what the real motivations were or what even was going on over there? Right. How would you know unless you were getting letters from home or letters from people that were over there? Otherwise, you had to rely on reporters and who controlled them. Were they on like being honest back then, telling the truth, or were they allowed to tell the truth? Who ran it through? You've seen the movie Good Morning Vietnam. I don't know how accurate that was, but the impression of the movie was that they weren't really allowed to tell you all the things that were actually going on. Yeah. So how could you have a bunch of people protesting against something that they didn't know what was happening?
Right.
So they were either idiots, not unlike current people that didn't really have a clue, but just took a hard stance on it one way just because they believed that it was wrong to be there.
Yeah.
Turned out that they were probably a little more right than the people who were into being there. But at the time, they were considered like these morons. But I don't know. These ones, we seem to have more information, and I think it's a lot easier to see that they don't know what they're talking about.
She's in the audience tonight. It's funny. Too much beard. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh, did I ever show you that the old reel-to-reel recorder that I bought?
No, audio recorder?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was old. It was probably from back in the 60s, right? But this dude I got it from, he fixed, electronic shit out of his garage, and he was selling it on Facebook. And I wanted to buy one for ghost hunting, right? Because I wanted to use it to record to see if we picked up anything on a reel tape, So he gave me a bunch of reels, and he said, I think they're all empty, And we started playing some of the reels, and there were actually recordings from over in Vietnam during the war. Like, you can hear the bombs going off in the background and shit. It's fucking nuts.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. I have to let you listen to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's wild.
Really trippy. So it was pretty cool. What do you say?
Take a sip from the high control zipper mug. Unfortunately, it's empty right now.
Probably shouldn't move those. You don't have any drinks, do you? Oh, yeah.
Get the water over here. My secret squirrel container.
Secret squirrel container. Crazy. So here's the thing that bothers me the most about these protests. I'm not against, they have the right to do it. Freedom of speech, fine. You can protest all you want.
You're allowed to be stupid.
Right. My thing is, what irritates me is burning the flag, which I know, again, you have the right to do.
Yeah.
Right. Under the freedom of speech. I think it's fucked up. I think it's fucked up that you come over to a country like this. Not only are you wasting time, these people are supposed to be going to college to get an education. They're wasting time. They're spending hours and hours protesting, like you said, something you're not going to influence. You're not going to fix it.
No.
You're wasting your energy instead of being more productive to society. And then you're pissing on a country that you have the ability to do that in.
Well, and are we talking about, the students? Are they students that are American born? Are they immigrant students? Are they?
Some of them, when I watched some of them that were on the ASU footage, the girl who cried because she can't graduate now, she's just sorry for the slang, but a fat white chick that, decided to jump on the bandwagon and protest. Yeah, go, hoorah, and now ASU arrested 72 students. And now they said that they can't graduate. And now she's on the news crying about it. It's like, well, your actions have consequences, period.
Yeah. And when you're doing something so bold and so against the grain,
right?
They're going to get new things going on. Like, hey, you can't graduate. And she goes, what? But what? But I thought, yeah, tough shit. New world. So crazy. What'd you say? Well, no, it's still a protest, but like, just like letting white supremacists protest. They can have their gatherings and they can say ignorant, stupid crap about getting rid of people. You're allowed to say those things. You're not allowed to take action. You're not allowed to incite violence. So,
isn't that inciting violence?
Absolutely not. You're not calling anyone to action. You're just making blanket moron statements. You're allowed to be stupid. And this is, it's a gray area. Because here's the thing. If my personal feeling on it is like, if you're saying things that are just so inflammatory and awful, and there's a group of people that are like, dude, we totally need to do what they're saying. That's natural selection. And those people are going to be taken care of, because if they go act on those things, I think there's going to be consequences to them. Because what are they going to do? They're going to go over there and start killing Jews? Or are they going to start killing Jews here locally? Like, I don't know. If they do, I think there's consequences to that. And I think it'll kind of solves itself, but I don't know for sure. I don't know that anybody's that stupid. Maybe there are people that are that stupid.
I think there are.
Because what I've seen so far is these people are just getting behind each other, calling for the same stuff. Yeah. Well, you get more people lining up, free Palestine or whatever, create Palestine or whatever the hell the deal is. They can say that. It's just words. None of them are doing anything actively.
Yeah, but doesn't it kind of go back to you can't yell fire in the theater?
Right.
I mean, isn't
kind
it
of, but kind of not.
They know when you're calling for the death of the Jews, you're calling for the extermination of the Jews.
You kind of are, but you're kind of not.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't see any action taking place because of these things. They're not changing anyone's mind. Well, no one's going like, what? We should kill all the Jews. Nobody. I don't think that's a thing.
Well, Hamas, but
they're already there, and they're actually doing it. They're like, they're not just pussies just screaming about it. Where these guys are lining up behind each other and go, yeah, let's go join those idiots and say the same stupid crap and not do anything. Right. Versus Hamas is actually out there murdering people like good psychopaths do. Back your shit up. You know what I mean? If you're an idiot, own it. Go ahead. Be out there.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to get killed. Israel's a country I probably wouldn't want to fuck with. They're kind of badass. You know what I mean? Like every single one of them's been in the military. It's not a choice. You live here, you're Israeli. Guess what? You're going to serve in the military, and they're not a bunch of weenies. They're just not being
bombed for what, the last 75 years.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and for the most part, they've been being picked on and treated like shit for a long time. And they're just kind of like, yeah, whatever. All right, and fuck you guys. Fuck you. You know what I mean? And now it's kind of like, hey, really? So what are they seriously supposed to just be like? No, it's okay. And they killed a bunch of people and with kids in concert. We don't want to get worse. And bullshit. And honestly, they did it in the nicest way possible. As far as I know, they didn't just surprise attack anybody. They said, hey, you guys down here, if you live here on Tuesday, we're going to start killing people. So if you're still there, we're going to kill you.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
So leave. We don't want to leave. We live here. Okay, but we understand that. So do the assholes that we're mad at. So we're not going to just take it anymore. We're going to take action.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And again, how much more above board can you be? We're going right here. Do you live there? Are you on their side? No? Then get out. Just for a day or two even.
Right.
Not forever, just for now, because we're going to start killing people. And if you don't, you're going to get killed. What am I supposed to do? If you promote violence against Jews, you're not protected by the First Amendment. That's true. But what constitutes promoting violence? Just not liking them? You're my girl. I love you always. Anyway, I won't.
Funny.
We're retarded. Anyway, I get what you're saying kind of, but at the same time, if you start deciding who can say what, then it turns into the lack of free speech. So you're allowed to be an idiot. You're allowed to say things that are stupid, and you need to understand that there's going to be a reaction to it. Sometimes emotional, sometimes real, because you might find somebody that's crazier than you are that disagrees with you that will physically come kick your ass.
Right.
And then what are you supposed to do? Well, you're allowed to say dumb shit. He's not allowed to kick your ass, but he did kick your ass. Are you okay with that? You feel good? No. So calling for genocide is I agree. But calling for genocide is the same thing as just these stupid chants that people don't know what they're talking about. But again, where do you draw the line with being able to talk? Because you're just talking.
I agree.
Like, can you not say that we're going to go after the people that just killed all of our family members? Because wouldn't that be inciting violence?
Well, we did it after 9/11.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like, is that inciting violence or is that a call to action because it's necessary? I don't know. I don't know that the words matter as much as actions. And when the actions are taken, then you got to do stuff. People do everywhere. Okay.
Nice.
Most people can kick my ass regardless of being white or not being stupid. Isn't an excuse for wishing death. I totally agree. But what do you do about it?
Again, my point is these people are just they're a waste of time. I mean,
I agree. What do you do about
You're
it?
not productive in society.
Agreed.
You
100%.
come over to this country, you take advantage of all of our rights, but yet you piss on the flag, you piss on our culture.
What do you do about it that makes you not a bigger piece of shit? If we start killing them or locking them up, or what do you do to those people?
I mean, that's not the right answer. But
what is the?
You got to change society. You got to. We didn't used to think that way.
I agree.
Or at least I don't think we did.
I don't know what it is.
Seeing that.
I don't know what it is that changed. Like I love this country. I love the freedoms that it supplies me. I have the utmost respect for people who are willing to make us be able to have these incredible lives that we have. My life is incredible, and it's because I live here,
right?
And I'm aware of that. And I try not to take for granted how blessed I am just in my ability to get up and do what I want on a daily basis, to say things that I want on a daily basis. And I do that with some degree of, I don't know, caution or whatever. I'm not trying to go out of my way to piss people off or offend anybody or to be mean to anyone. And I certainly wouldn't attempt to try to tell anybody who they should let live and not live.
Right.
I do think that human life has value. I think it all has value. That becomes a real big problem. Because if you believe that all human life has value, that means you don't kill anybody,
right,
for any reason. And that's a really hard line to defend because there's a lot of people you go, we could do without that son of a bitch. And I don't disagree, but what do you do? I think, and I agree, defunding, that's been going on for so long and it happens so covertly. Was it that Russian guy that was talking about how you'd take over society?
Yeah.
30, 40 years ago. So you start in education, start in the universities, educate a new generation to believe a different thing. And that's happening.
And I think that's what's really changing. You can say anything you want. Everybody will call out the Democrats, the liberals, whatever it is. You can call them out. And yeah, they've contributed. So have Republicans. But I think the biggest problem, like you said, is the education system that we're turning out. How many thousands of people go to universities, right? I mean, if you think about it, we're turning those people out into society.
What I'd like to know, what about the ones that aren't getting turned that way? What are they doing? Because there's still people coming out of university that aren't complete idiots and that aren't
100%.
So what's the difference? Where's the study and the information where we can find out what was different? Was it the way they were raised? Was it the family they were brought up in? Was it their socioeconomic status? What is it that makes them not complete idiots?
Well, one of the schools, was it North Carolina? I can't remember. I read it briefly. I watched the video because it kind of touched me. But they protected the American flag. They raised the American flag back up. And while they were doing it, there was a crowd of probably 200 people all singing the national anthem.
Yeah.
And it's like that. I don't know why. It just makes me feel really good. Like you give a fuck about the country.
100%.
You cared enough to save the flag, and you show the respect to the flag.
So where does that shift happen? Where that feels just as good to people as being the morons who are protesting for something they don't understand? Because that's what I see. Those people, the people that are all anti-Semitic and all pro-Palestine stuff, like they don't really know what the hell they're talking about. It seems to me they don't. Or maybe they know better than I do. All I know is that like whatever they're doing, it seems to be backed with a real negative connotation. Yeah. Whereas those sorts of things, there's a pridefulness in it that seems positive and that is uplifting. And when you see that stuff happen, it touches you emotionally. It's like, that's beautiful. It seems like a beautiful thing to witness. And when somebody goes against it, as we've talked about many times, it's so abrasive.
Right.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
When you tell losers it's not their fault, they blame anyone you tell them to.
You tell a loser it's not their fault. Yeah. Well, I kind of think I know what you're saying.
So you're talking about leading them. You're leading them on to say, well, it was his fault or whatever, and they're gonna follow you. Is that what you're saying?
I think there's a lot of people that kind of pick the wrong side or go what I would consider off the rails, without ever having really any situation where they're pointed out to be losers, or I mean, they have good lives otherwise. Like if you're talking about kids who are in college and on a scholarship or it's paid for, whatever the case may be, they're doing okay in life. They just, I guess it's part of just belonging or feeling like they belong to something or wanting to stick out.
And that's a good point, because life, with the advent of social media, life has become a popularity contest, right? And that's where these people, oh, look, there's a whole crowd of people over there protesting, and they're on the news and they're being recorded. I want to get involved with this. I want my picture. I want to be on video.
I guess maybe it's sort of that whole any attention's better than no attention.
Right. Or negative attention. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll take the negative attention because there isn't any positive attention because I suck.
Yeah. So for that, I blame society in a way. College kids, the losers, they're desperately looking for someone to blame. Okay. Yeah.
Can't say I disagree.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I don't know that it's universal, but nothing is. So it's a good point.
I'm going to play this quick video. Yeah. I think you'll appreciate what this guy says.
I bet it will.
So
I genuinely think none of these guys stepped foot in Israel, and they don't really know what's going on there.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's fair, and it's probably the most real statement made by anybody in regards to this. Is how many of you have ever been there or have any idea what's going on? Not for real. Almost none of them. Right. Almost none of these people that are protesting have any idea what it's like to be in that region. You know, they may have took a field trip there once. But do you have any idea what it's like to live there or be there? I don't have any idea what it's like to be either side of that argument or to live in those places or to care about the things they care about.
Yeah.
Like if you are pro-Palestinian or whatever, and you believe that that's your homeland and it was taken from you thousands of years ago, and for some reason you think that matters, if that's your core position of who you are, why wouldn't you fight hard for that?
And why would you stay there and fight?
Well, I'm not talking about the idiots here. I'm talking about people that are actually there.
Yeah,
the people who are actually there that are willing to get killed for whatever side that they're on. That's real, and I get it. But when you haven't ever been there, what are you doing?
Right.
There's no real reason for you don't have a dog in the fight. You don't even know what you're fighting for. I don't believe that any pro-Palestinian people here feel the way actual Palestinian people feel. Like the pride you feel when you see this group of kids singing the national anthem and hoisting the flag up high. It's because you're an American that it affects you.
Right.
It's because you understand that and you have that similar pride. Those people over there do. People here don't. It's faux. It's fake. You don't really know what it feels like. So to be so passionate about something you have no vested interest in always seems phony to me on either side. Nobody who's here, who lives here, born here, raised here, you don't really have a position that matters on either side over there. You can have opinions, but you really don't understand how either of them feel.
Right.
All of my stuff is subjective, and I just look at it and I go like, I see these guys have been here. They seem to be pretty neutral as far as like, all right, we'll let them have this little strip and do their thing and just whatever, just leave us alone. And then when you fuck with them, they get mad. That's all real understandable. I get it. But without even understanding the tenements of their particular religions or beliefs or anything, I go, oh, what did they do? They came over here, snuck over here and killed a bunch of people who were just enjoying their day in the most brutal, awful way.
Right.
How could you not react to that?
Right.
And then again, the way that they reacted was without a doubt the most, fairest possible way you could. We're coming for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're coming. If you're in the way,
watch out.
It's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
Fair warning. Just go, move, leave, whatever. I don't know how else you could do it. Just ceasefire is insane. Yeah. No, don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. They didn't mean it. Yes, they did. They meant it. What they did was evil and wrong and needs to be punished on some level. Yeah. And I can't imagine how stupid you have to be to think that, well, no, just let it be.
That's like saying that we would have just sat back after 9/11 and said, well, you know what happened? Oh, well.
So don't do it again.
Don't do it again. Yeah. Yeah.
Mean it.
Exactly.
I mean it. Don't.
Well, wasn't it like 5 or 6 years ago, we saw something with Israel in the news and they were dropping leaflets before they started bombing.
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of thing that they do. They're not into surprise attacking people because they're not into terrorism. I mean, that's really what terrorism is, no matter where it is. It's the whole surprise attack kind of, well, we killed people and here's why. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like you're not enacting change or even attempting to enact change. You wanted to kill people and you did. And then you gave a reason why you did it. Versus, hey, listen, we have an issue with you people or this section of people. We're going to do something to them because ABC, whatever, like you killed all our people, whatever it is, but you give them a heads up and this is
Right.
what we're going to do. I mean, that seems kind of goofy, but at the same time, it's like, it's about as fair as you can possibly get if you're talking about a consequence for an actual action. If it's just, you're the aggressor and you just feel like, you know, I wonder again, when we get into the nuclear thing, did we do it as a surprise? Was it a surprise? How much of a surprise was it when we bombed
Hiroshima?
You know, they came at us and got us involved and poked a bear and said, "Hey, well, Mick, come play." We're like, okay, are you sure? Because I don't think we want to do what you're doing. We've got these big bombs. You want to drop those? Sure. I don't know if we gave them heads up. I think we did. If not, I could be completely wrong, but I believe there was a leaflet type of drop sort of thing that happened.
I don't know.
I don't know if it was or not, but
That's
even so, those kinds of things, it wasn't, we didn't blow them up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't for nothing.
Well, it's like saying nobody knew that Putin was going to invade Ukraine, right? Nobody knew that.
Lots of people knew that.
It was a surprise.
Yeah, lots of people knew it, and they knew what it would take to make it happen.
Right.
And one of the things it took was getting Zelensky to not sign, papers with them. And when people convinced him not to do that, there was a consequence and a reaction that was not a surprise,
right,
to anybody who knew what was going on.
To
everyone else, regular people were like, "Oh no, what's going on over there?" It's like same shit was going on for like 10, 15 years. Apparently, we just weren't being told about it because it wasn't our business and it wasn't newsworthy at the time. Now all of a sudden it's newsworthy. Well, let's support those guys.
Well, I remember hearing weeks before the actual invasion started that it was going to happen. It's just any day now Putin's going to go in.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about it.
Yeah,
and I remember hearing, it was pretty quick that, like, if you looked into it at all, you could find people who had information about that. It's 76 for crying out loud.
Is it 76?
I don't know.
All right, here's another video. I got a bunch.
I've got a joke for your dad at some point. I'm not going to put it over here because it's way too bad.
All right, here's another one.
Friday evening in Northern California, protesters at Cal Poly Humboldt took down their barricades around an administrative building.
We're going to open up Siemens Hall. Everyone, welcome.
Inside, video showed graffiti-covered walls and shattered glass leading to the president's office. Messages scrawled around his inner office. The standoff with students continued.
That's ridiculous.
That's why I have a problem with protesting.
But that's vandalism. That's not protesting.
But it happens all the time.
I know. It doesn't make it okay.
All these people say they're out there for a good cause, but yet they're destroying the places they're protesting at.
And whatever cause you're out there for, you diminish it and you completely eliminate its validity by destroying stuff and writing graffiti. Again, nobody cares what you think anyway. You're just out there yelling and screaming about stuff that you don't understand. You're not convincing anyone to join your side. And then when you do that kind of stuff, all you're doing is making it worse for yourself. You're less likely to be heard. You're less likely to be paid attention to. They just see you as assholes that are taking the opportunity to get involved in something that you don't understand.
Got him.
Yeah.
Right. Who pays for that damage? Tuition's going up.
Probably.
The admin enables this behavior.
If they don't punish them and they graduate them, then they absolutely enabling it. That's why the girls at ASU that aren't graduating, that's about the best they can do because they can't like publicly flog them or anything like that. As much as that'd be fun. Fat chick beating on ground one. Come on down.
Flog them.
Pick up a rock. We're gonna beat the shit out of this stupid bitch.
Oh man. Yeah, it's I don't even the protests we had during COVID and all that shit. They were destroying everything. It wasn't like, what was your point? What was the point of burning businesses and looting stores? And
the point, as far as I could tell, was to kind of shift the attitudes of people in the political realm.
Yeah,
it all seemed very political to me. I remember seeing. The part of Chandler that I live in. I remember where they were going to have some protests down there. And the two things that struck me the weirdest was how it kind of turned into a ghost town about an hour and a half beforehand.
Yep.
And then we saw pallets of bricks.
Yep.
That were dropped off on the roads.
Yep.
But nobody showed up. It just didn't happen. But I was like, who dropped the bricks off? What were they for? You know what I mean? It was like, it wasn't to rebuild anything.
And they're on pallets. So,
Yeah,
that
there was
somebody
like-
had a forklift or something.
I mean, it
that
was
moved
just
that shit.
wild to me. It was like, oh my gosh, there's literally somebody inciting this and intentionally trying to make bad things happen. I was like, that's terrible, but I don't know who it was.
Same thing happened in Tempe. My office used to be on Mill and the 60 right there.
Mhm.
And I remember getting on the 60 right on the corner there. There were 3 pallets of bricks, just stacked full of bricks. And I knew they weren't building a wall. So
It's crazy.
yeah, it was fucking nuts.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think also, I know your view on law enforcement sometimes, but I really think it was that play to really demonize law enforcement.
Oh, it was a big part of it.
It forced them into a very bad position.
They've been in a bad
all
position for a
those
long time. This
rioting
is
going
my
on.
thing. Like, regardless of my personal experiences with them, I still stand on like, who the hell wants to do that job?
Right.
It's an awful job. It's thankless. I mean, when you do a good job at it, there's people that are going to hate you. There's people that are going to be against you. And it's one of those deals where, like, even when you do the best possible job, there's still a lot of people that are mad at you.
Mhm.
It's a shitty job. I am grateful that there's anybody willing to do it, because I sure as hell couldn't do it. Most of the people I know couldn't do it. And most people I know wouldn't want to do it, because it is very thankless.
And you saw a lot of them step away too. A lot of them said, "I'm out."
Yeah, because why? Why would I put myself in a situation of
Yeah.
just being victimized or turn into a public enemy number one for just doing my job?
But now we're paying the price for it, though. If you look at
Oh,
the
yeah.
crime rates and you see these inner cities, how bad they are. Well, you know what? You wanted to bring in psychologists instead of police, so now
Yeah.
you get to pay for it.
Yeah, and I'm not the type to call the police, so I don't think that there's no place for them. I absolutely think there's a place for them, and that we need them to a certain degree. But I am also not the kind of person that's going to say that I feel the way that I feel and then call them the minute I have an issue.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't play both sides of the coin like that. I recognize their necessity. I recognize the difficulty of the job that they have. It seems unsurmountable to me. It's like, again, why would you want that? Well, if you've got a family at all, just such a terrible risk to take. But I'm glad that they do it, because there needs to be some law and order.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Being human beings, humans are a pain in the ass. We're all very weird and very different, and for whatever reason, we refuse to get along on a global level. And it seems so easy to me to go, hey, I got an idea. I'm gonna do my thing, you do your thing. And if our paths cross, and we tried our best not to be shitty to each other,
Yeah.
how about that? Just be decent. You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you. Just be decent. Like, don't walk out your door going, for any reason, whether you like me or not, or you
Right.
think I'm ugly, or you don't want to have sex with me, or whatever the thing is that you have problem with other people, just leave it alone.
Right.
I don't have to go out of my way to tell you what to do. And same. It just seems so simple, but it's an impossibility.
What's that old saying? Can't we all just get along? Right.
Or just leave each other the fuck alone. They don't have to get along. Just leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like, get along implies some effort to interact. But
Yeah.
how about this? How about we just don't? There's that wall. See that wall, that line? Oh, but that's a special place. Oh, fuck off then. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do with you people. When there's a magical land that you want to be in, I don't know what to do with that.
There's a lot of that going around.
And that's what it is. Let's be real about
Right.
it. That's our special spot. Well, who fucking cares?
Right.
Do something about it, please. That's where I get on that one. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if the rock's special or not. I don't know Mecca matters or any of that shit. I know that I've lived my entire life without giving a rat's ass about any of it. And I don't know if it's affected me poorly or not. You let me know. Like, do you know which way to point when you pray? Does it matter? Are your prayers not heard because you didn't face the right direction? I don't know. All that seems ridiculous to me, but I could be wrong. So then we get these blood wars because you're not facing the right way. That's not the right thing to do. What the shit? Sorry. Anyway,
Right. There you go. Go get a piece of property somewhere. And
Right.
just hang out by
Absolutely.
yourself.
Absolutely. And that's, I think that's cool. But, is it so impossible to live in proximity with other people and still have the same mentality? Like, I live in the woods. I've got a neighbor. You know what I don't do? I don't go pee on his door.
Right.
I'm not beating his, breaking his windows or kicking his kids or poisoning his dogs. I go to and fro for the most part and leave other people the hell alone.
You say hi occasionally, you know, if you see them
Yeah.
outside. Or
And if they're like, then I'm like, okay, cool. I don't say hi to you anymore. But wouldn't it be cool if they just went hi back and that was it? Not even enthusiastically. They don't even have to seem like they like me. Just hi or nod or just anything. But
even that's a cultural change, though, if you think about it, because I remember back, even when I lived in Vegas,
you knew your neighbors.
You knew your neighbors. Not only that, we would sit outside. I lived in a cul-de-sac, and all 4 houses on Friday nights, we'd all go out on the cul-de-sac together. We'd bring out our barbecues. We'd barbecue, hang out, drink beer, shoot the shit. It was great. I mean,
and you know what's funny? I bet you maybe I'm wrong, but did you not have at least one house in the block that you just nobody fucked with because you knew that guy was an asshole, and so we just didn't talk to that person?
Yeah, they're in the neighborhood,
and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's simple enough, right? Yeah. What happens though is that guy gets to be a bitter prick, and then someday goes like, "Fuckers are having fun on a Saturday," you know? Yeah, because it's Saturday, dickhead. Yeah. Like he gets his panties in a wad and decides to do something about it. Right. So he's going to put up flyers and say, "No more barbecuing on Saturdays." I'm like, what the fuck? And it just starts. Yeah. That's human nature because there's got to be one asshole. So it's easy as long as everybody's willing to go, hey, we're just going to exist and get along. But we don't. Just leave each other the fuck alone. If you disagree with what I'm doing, cool. Then just shut up and keep to yourself or fuck move. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. If you don't like it, get out.
But there's the thing. When you start deciding, well, I can't move because this is where I'm meant to be. You guys aren't supposed to be here.
Yeah. Well, that's
then it's bullshit. Yeah. And it's like, it's untenable. It becomes an impossibility. And that's what I think that's what I've always viewed the Middle East as. It's an unsolvable problem because it's a self-made problem that has no solution because there's no agreement on this magical thing that the person who has the answers won't answer.
Right.
He's just up there giggling, going, they're still fighting about it. The fuck? You know, like, I don't know. That's the cartoon version in my head is God just going like, look, dude, they're still fine. I know. Why don't you just tell them? I'm not going to tell them, dude. This is hilarious. You're kidding me? Watch them. They're going to kill a whole bunch of people over this shit. Couldn't you just tell them? I could, but that would ruin the surprise.
Sometimes, and you're probably going to laugh at me for saying this, but maybe this is just my religious belief. I believe that God gave us free will for a reason, right? And it's up to us to figure it out. 100%. He's not going to control it. He gave us that ability to free think for ourselves. It's a test for us to figure out how do we deal with this now, and we're pretty shitty at it.
Well, and that's what's funny. I mean, like if what you're saying is true, and I believe that that's the closest to truth you're going to get, that if free will exists, then it's up to us. So that being the case, do you think it's possible that God gives a shit about any of that stuff that we fight about?
It's probably all trivial to him.
That's the way I think. Like, I don't think he gives a rat's ass what you drink on Sundays or what, what cracker you eat or which way you point when you talk to him or what rock you're on or what piece of land I think all that stuff is like, so nothing that he gives a shit about. He's an omnipotent being. He's our creator. And he's like, well, yeah, you were in the right place, man. You guys, you were supposed to be living over there and you were living over here. So sorry. Yeah, it's just like, does that make sense to them?
I get what you're saying.
That it just seems so ridiculous to me. I believe in free will. Whatever the journey is, I think that free will matters. And if that's the case, I don't think it matters what freaking town you live in, according to him. I don't think he's holding it against anybody else because we can't all be there, right?
No, but I think you're judged on, I think he judges you on certain things. Like, if you,
I would hope so.
If you're a murderer, if you're, I mean,
I'd like to think that stuff matters.
Well, that's in the end, I think that's what really matters. I don't think it matters all this other trivial shit going on. He doesn't care about protests, doesn't care about that stuff going on. If, as horrible as it sounds, like abortion and all that stuff, I'm not going to say he doesn't care about it, but you know what? That's,
he doesn't care.
He gave us the will to do that. And we will be judged on it one day.
I agree.
If you kill your child, someday you'll have to answer for it. You're killing a life,
I agree. And that's the thing. I think it is sort of a consequence-based sort of deal. Like, this is what, good and bad and good and evil, right and wrong. And reality of it is you're not going to necessarily pay for it right now, but it'll affect your ultimate existence, or I don't know. I know that I don't, that's the biggest problem that I have is I don't have a real firm stance about a lot of stuff because you don't claim to know shit that I don't know about. And I think when you get into the point where you've decided that you have the answers to things, it puts you in a vulnerable position because now you have to defend that. And you have to, a lot of times you wind up defending it at your own demise. If you are 100% that this is the right place for us to be and we've got to defend it no matter what, then you can wind up killing people over ideologies.
Right.
It's in that, which is just nuts. Because again, nobody really knows. You can see the consequences of stuff that happens, and you can kind of try to judge it historically. But again, I don't think that everybody who's on the wrong side of history necessarily intended to be so. I think they probably thought they were doing the right thing. So what do you do about that? I don't know. I don't know how you fix people that are influenced that way. You mean
I fucked up in the head?
Fucked up in the head. It's simple, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's things that I think that I don't know any way to defend them other than it's just how I feel.
Right.
Like, I never gave a shit about abortion. When I was younger, I didn't care. It wasn't something I was, adamant like, no, you should never kill a baby. I didn't give a rat's ass. It wasn't my kid. Who cares? Do what you want. I have a little bit different view about it now, in that I do believe that life matters and it's precious, and every life matters. I'm not telling you what to do and not to do. I think abortion's stupid, but that puts me in a real smug position of being able to tell you what to do with your life when I didn't make good choices earlier in life. So who the hell am I to say so? It's tough. We're all living in the world. And nobody has any answers, but a lot of people think they do. That's what I think is scary, is when you've got people that are sure of stuff that you can't be sure of.
I know I live my life with my belief that I will answer for the things I've done in my life in the end. And I think that makes me a better person, and I'll just continue to live that way.
That's
whether it's true or not, I'll find out when I die. Right.
Yeah,
I believe it's true. I believe in it. And that's what keeps me kind of on the straight and narrow. I'm not saying I haven't done stupid shit in my life, but everybody has. But for the most part, I think I'm a decent human being, and I try to be that way.
And I would agree. I agree that's the case. And what's funny is that I also recognize that the people who are absolute psychopaths also believe that they're doing the right thing. I think there's very few of them that know that what they do is wrong when they're protesting whatever they're protesting, or propagating whatever sort of violent behavior that they're doing. I think that for the most part, those people think that they're in the right. There are some people that just enjoy being evil and want to be criminals. And those people I think it's more of an American cultural thing. But when it comes to people in the Middle East that are of these ideologies or of these belief systems that are so ingrained in them culturally, they believe they're doing the right thing. That's terrifying, because I don't know how there's no way to defend against that doesn't involve killing them.
Yeah.
You have to kill those people if you believe what they're doing is wrong. And I believe what they're doing is wrong. There's not another answer. You can't just cease fire against them and be like, no, just let them be till the next time they kill a bunch of people for no reason. That's like, I don't know that I'm pro anything, but I feel like, I think going in there and cleaning house seems like the right thing to do. I don't know that we necessarily need to support it or financially back it, but I don't have a problem with Israel going in there and killing people.
Right.
I just don't, because it seems like it's properly motivated. It seems like they're giving enough of a heads up for anybody who doesn't want to be associated with that team. Hey, want to be safe? Put on the white flag or do whatever. Do something. Give us a heads up that you're not for them.
Right.
Leave, hide, something. Don't stay there.
Well, and if you think about Hamas and the atrocities that they carried out, and just pure evil in my mind,
I agree.
I can't even fathom. I can't even think that they actually believe in what they're doing is right. I can't.
It's hard to imagine.
I can't wrap my head around that.
But that's the thing. It's because you're not. And again, we use the word evil, but it's like, if you believe that you are supposed to do these things as a part of being who you are and based on who you believe your God is, and you think that that's what your God wants you to do. I mean, it's impossible for you to really, really wrap your head around that. But if you believe that Jesus wanted you and wanted nothing more than for you to take care of your family, provide for yourself, and murder every person you met that had this color hat on or some shit. If you believed that and you felt like it was the right thing to do, it's impossible to think that for us, because we don't live that way. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about they think that what they did was not just justifiable, but was the proper thing to do based on their belief system. It's so unfathomable. It is crazy. It, really is. It seems insane, but that's what we're talking about. And and how do you cure that? Well, the only way to cure that is to eliminate it.
Yeah.
You're not going to change the way they think. If they're willing to go do those things based on their belief system, you can't talk them out of it, because it doesn't take a lot to talk a rational person out of it. Yeah, just don't murder people. Oh, well, we have to. We're supposed to. That's what we're called to do. It's our job.
Right.
What the fuck? I mean, that's just, it's crazy. But that's what they are. So what do you have to do? Seems to me that there's only one answer to that. And it's an answer that for the most part, I feel like Israel's kind of went, well, we don't want to have to kill everybody. We'd like to not do that. So that's why they pussyfooted along and allowed to go this far. And now I think they're at the point where it's like, we're done.
Yeah.
We got how many hundreds of years of putting up with this bullshit? We're done. If you are of that team and you're of that ilk and you believe that stuff, we're going to kill you. So fly your flag high so we can make sure that we hit the right place. You know what I mean? But that's what it seems like to me, you know, and I'm not, what do you call it? What are they? We're Jewish. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Muslim. I'm neither of those. So I don't know.
My question would be those people that are protesting, you know, we have our immigration problem. We have how many Hamas people probably here in the country now as it is.
Yeah.
If they carried out similar atrocities, God forbid,
they will
in our country. But my point is the people who are protesting now, would they take a different stance if it happened in the country that they were living in?
I would assume so. I would like to think so, but I don't know. Are they, I don't believe that those people that are protesting are really willing to take up arms and do anything active.
No.
Because I think they're pussies in general.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of evident by the way that they react to stuff. But if they were willing to take up arms, I would at least have more respect for them. I still think we should kill them, but I don't, you know, at least be able to respect their position. Like, oh, they are really, really willing to fight for what they believe, as dumb as it is.
Yeah, I would just be curious about that. If something happened over here, would they defend, or would they continue to protest? You know,
well, as it's going,
queers,
at some point,
queers for Palestine. You don't think they'd take up arms?
I don't know if they know how. Take up risks. I think it's kind of inevitability at some point they're going to have a situation where somebody who is pro-Palestine or pro-Hamas or whatever is going to do something actively in this country, and it's going to cause people to hopefully open their eyes and go, oh, is that what they're really doing? Shit, that's not good. You know, I mean,
they keep warning about it. It's all over.
That's what they do. I mean,
I know.
I've never understood whenever we see like Hollywood people or whatever get super, you know, vigilant about backing Muslim people and like, you know, they're a peaceful religion, all this stuff. I'm like, they're not. Like, maybe they are on some level, but overwhelmingly the core beliefs, the core tenets of that religion is not peace with others. It's elimination of people who disagree with us, you know, and that to me in and of itself is the one thing that's just it's not tenable in the world that's going to get along or be of any kind of peace.
Right.
You know, and everyone goes, oh, the Crusades and back in the day, they used to do awful shit. And then they rewrote their book and they went, hey, that stuff was kind of dark. Let's see if we can't come up with something better. And New Testament's born. Christ has a different view. And what do you have to do? Not be an asshole and accept his existence, accept him as a savior. Right. Pretty simple rules. A lot more vanilla and a lot less people die.
Yeah.
You know, you still have zealots. You still have his crazy people. And I think you deal with them on an individual basis. But when the basics of your religion are like, yeah, gay should die. I'm not necessarily super pro-gay, but I'm also not the ilk that we should be killing anybody for their beliefs or their thoughts, you know? So what do you do?
Unless you're carrying out atrocities against
other again,
people.
if the stated goal of a group of people is to eliminate everybody else, and you can't say, you have a meeting and say, everybody, you guys are all peaceful Muslims? Cool, right on. Do you think it's okay to kill gays? Oh, yeah. Okay, wrong team. Or do you think it's okay to kill gays? No, of course not. Cool, so wrong team. You shouldn't be here. This isn't for you. So you're not really Muslim because that's one of their core beliefs.
Right.
So, and if you don't agree with that, then why do you assign yourself with that? That's the part that I really don't get. This is why I don't belong to a church, because I haven't found a church that universally I can agree with everything that they have as a tenet of the religion. It's not that I disagree with them altogether. It's that there's as much as one thing that I don't agree with. And I feel like if I'm going to claim that, I need to agree with everything because it's 100%. Kind of a big fucking deal.
Right.
To me, it's a big deal. If I'm claiming that, yes, I'm this, I need to agree with everything. Because if I can't say that I do, then I don't belong there. Because we're talking about big deal shit.
Yeah.
I think it's big deal shit, but a lot of people do it very casually. Oh, yeah, we're this and we're that. Well, we don't believe in that part. Well, how the fuck are you even part of it? Doesn't make any sense to me. Defend your position or at least support it by being what you're supposed to be. If you're not that, then just stop. You're not part of that team.
Right.
You know?
I agree. I
love the Denver Broncos. I'm a super fan, but I hate John Elway. It doesn't work.
I agree. You see that with Catholicism a lot, you know? I mean,
oh my God.
the mafia was a great example. Weren't they back in the day?
How many teen pregnancies went through the Catholic Church? It's like,
Right.
hey guys, I don't think you're understanding what we're trying to say here. Stupid.
Even divorce is frowned upon in the Catholic religion. I mean,
It's supposed to be,
yeah.
but it's not anymore. It's like, it's not as bad as it was. Why is it not as bad as it was? Was it the thing or not? It either was or it wasn't. I don't understand how we keep editing and changing and
move the goalpost.
Again, to me, it delegitimizes the whole thing when it comes to religion. And it's hard for me to understand why people are so deep with it when it does keep changing. Like, wait, last year we hated those guys. Last year we weren't okay with that. Why are we okay with it now? Did God change his mind? Did you get a memo I didn't get? And that's basically what we're saying is like, Pope's like, yeah, Newt, yep. Word from upstairs. The gay thing's cool. Just not in public and not in the clergy, but otherwise cool. Really? All right. Well, seems odd.
Well, when it came out that what was it, the Pope that was supporting gay marriage and stuff
weird.
Like that, I was like, what?
What are you doing?
What's going on?
You're kind of fucking up the whole game. We've been pretty hard on this for a while. We got to change all kinds of shit now. Like, we're going to be okay with it. You know, I can't say faggot anymore. And like, we got to take the flags down over here, change the restroom situation, like all this kind of stuff for what? Because the Pope decided, did he or did God? I don't know.
No wonder why priests are so fucked up in the head.
Dude,
you know, you're supposed to live a life of celibacy as a priest, but you know,
which is again, that in and of itself is one of those things where like when you really look into why that exists, because it wasn't always the case. It was a newer rule, and it was a newer rule based on the money that the church was losing to children that were being fathered by people in the church.
Right.
Illegitimate children. Chicks were coming with their hands out. Hey, priest knocked me up. We had a kid. Give me some money. Church went, that's just getting expensive. You know what? You guys can't have sex anymore.
Is that the whole reason behind it? I don't know what the whole reason behind
I'd be willing to bet that if somebody can find a better or a more legitimate reason, my understanding is that's basically what it came from.
Interesting.
That
I didn't know.
Priests, the whole celibacy thing came from, it was costing the church money because they were fathering children out of wedlock, parishioners and whatever, and they were coming to have their kids supported because why wouldn't they? And church was paying out and it was getting expensive. And they said, no more. So celibacy became a thing for priests. And that's when this really pissed people off, but that's when it became a haven for sexual deviance.
Right. Yeah.
Because if I'm here, I'm safe. I'm no risk. But then they went, oh shit, wait a minute, I can still play around with these people.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think it was done initially with the intention of being predatory. I think it was a way for people who were struggling with their sexual deviance or whatever. And if I go there, I can't have sex and no one will ask me for sex and I'll be cool. And then it turned into whatever the hell it is.
Write a book on priests. I think he meant to say celibacy.
And
buy that book and the audio book.
I don't remember. Why do I know that stuff? Where did I hear that stuff from? I should have better sources, but I don't.
But yet, if you're a bishop or you're somebody higher in the church, you can have a family. You can marry.
What is a bishop in Catholic Church? I don't know what that is.
He's just a higher status.
Okay.
Yeah. Than a priest.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works. So, the monks, priests. There's orders of priests that celibacy is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it exists in the Catholic Church to a certain degree, and it exists in a lot of other religions too. So it's not exclusive to them. The celibacy thing is not exclusive to them. It's my understanding that the reason that it was enacted in Catholicism specifically was because it was a financial burden to them.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That's an interesting point.
It may be total horseshit, but I do believe that it is the case that it wasn't always that priests had to be celibate.
Okay. So
yeah, definitely look it up. It's because if it's bullshit, it's a convincing argument. I bought it. I'm like, that sounds about right to me. That sounds right to me. It's like they're going like, fuck this. You guys can't screw anymore.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because otherwise, why the hell would you deny human beings sexual contact? It's like a big part of being a human being.
Right.
It's a big drive. But to take that away from somebody because you love God, what kind of asshole is God that he's like, you know what I mean? Like, well, yeah, but you gotta love just me, and I mean just me. Don't you get turned on by other people? What? It's a devil if you like that.
I'd be curious. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna check it out.
Makes sense. To me.
It's
Why
funny.
would God give a shit if you have sex? I just don't understand. Why would he care? He made it kind of part of who we are.
Yeah, it's human nature. So
if you're going to serve me, you can't have one of the most important, strongest driving forces of being a human being. You're not allowed to give into that anymore because somehow I care as much as I care about what book you read or what side of that border you're on when you pray. Just all that, again, this sort of trivial shit that like the omnipotency of God seems like stuff he wouldn't give a fuck about. Did you get a boner? Were you excited? Did you whack it or did you try to have sex with somebody? Because both those things matter to me, but differently.
You're gonna be judged on that.
Are you married? Okay, then it's okay. Not married. Oh, you're not allowed to come. You're just not. Stupid.
All right, let's get back to the videos.
Back to the videos.
We got off on it. We need to do a religious episode. We really do.
No, we don't. Everybody knows who I am. They're like, fuck that guy. He's an idiot. Go on.
72 people, including 15 ASU students, arrested by campus police in a 24-hour period, accused of trespassing and putting up tents on university property during a pro-Palestine protest. Their encampment, a clear violation of university policy.
Pieces of water.
I know, right? They plan to be there for a few days.
You think that was donated or people bought it?
Oh, I think they were probably donated along with the tents.
Tents aren't cheap.
There's a funny meme out there, and I should have put it on here tonight. It says, it's a cop arresting a protester, right? And the protester's like, "You're violating my freedom of speech." He goes, "No," he goes, "You're not using a tent provided by George Soros," or something like that. It was pretty funny.
I'm sorry, this is not a protest-approved tent.
Right.
You bought this with your own money. That's not okay.
It was pretty funny. Amazing how much water was dropped off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know what I guess just maybe the desire to be part of something, feel like you're part of something is why these kids get involved in this stuff. I think 1 out of 10 of them A, gives a shit, B, has any idea what they're talking about. I think most of the kids at those players' protests are just hollering whatever they're told to holler.
Yep. And
they really don't have any idea what's behind it or what they're actually talking about. That one video that we all saw where the girl going like, "What are we protesting? I don't know." It's like, how do you just, you've got to have that one, don't you?
No,
but you know what I'm talking about?
I'll find it for next week.
This is wild to me that like, I don't know what we're protesting.
Yeah, all the tents are the same. They went down to Walmart the morning of and bought them.
Well, they're the cheap ones, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
$100 on it.
Yeah, I'll play this one. This is where I get mad because it always seems like the other side, right? Every time they protest, they either do violence or they do, they destroy shit. And you remember when the election happened and a bunch of Republicans went down to the Capitol building the night of, none of that happened, right? Nobody was arrested. Yeah, people were carrying AR-15s down there, which, it's Arizona, it's the Wild West. But nobody got shot. Nobody got arrested. Nobody got shot. Nothing happened. But then you get shit like this that happens. Watch this video.
Individuals in the encampments throwing food, water bottles at the police officers after they gave them multiple chances to leave the scene.
After speaking with different protesters and bystanders, it's clear people on this campus and beyond are viewing this issue through very different eyes.
That was in Tucson, right? It's like you're there to protest. Why are you throwing shit at the cops? Seriously, they're there just to keep peace, right? They're there to make sure shit doesn't get out of hand. Why do you guys start fucking with them?
Because
just do your thing.
That's the thing. There's nobody there. Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit about their thing. So the closest thing that they have to take it out on is the cops. Because the cops, they're trying to keep peace, and the other guys didn't show up, so they can't throw any rocks at the pro-Israel people, because that's who they want to throw stuff at.
Right.
Like, you think you're allowed to? We're gonna be made to you. The cops are here, so that's who we'll throw rocks at. And then they go, "Why are they arresting us? I don't understand what's going on."
They did go to jail. So I know on ASU campus, 72 students got arrested. Down in Tucson, I don't know. I don't see Andrew and Arthur on the night to ask them.
That's what's cool though is it's good to know that they're actually arresting people and putting them in jail. I hope they stay there for a little bit of time. I hope there's enough of it so that they feel it and go, "Oh, maybe this was stupid. Maybe this didn't accomplish what I intended for it to accomplish." that I didn't change anybody's mind. I didn't make any difference in the world other than now I look like an asshole. You know, I hope their mugshot got published and then everybody sees that, oh, this person's a moron, is easily influenced and can be talked into just about anything.
Yeah.
So next year, instead of being on campus as a student, they're sucking dick for cheeseburgers down in the hovels of the world because they're morons.
Right. That's funny.
I'm hungry. One cheeseburger. I got your cheeseburger.
That's funny as shit.
Gonna suck itself.
Assholes remain assholes no matter how long they stay in college.
Agreed. One of my favorite things is that some people are just dicks.
Yep.
And that's, you know, I don't care where they're raised, where they're born, who brought them up, whatever. There are just some people in this world that are just dicks.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we do to fix that. Because again, I do believe that some level life is precious. So it's really hard because I want to kill those people. I want them just gone. There's a lot of folks run into them just like, man, we could do without you. But I do think it's wrong to just kill them. It'd be an easy solution, but I don't think it's right. I don't know how to justify it and agree that human life has value. So you have to be willing to say human life doesn't have value to just start eliminating people that we don't need. And there's lots of people we don't need. There's a ton of people. A lot of them are at those protests that if nobody ever saw them again, we wouldn't feel it.
Nobody would feel it. Yeah.
What happened to that girl? I don't know, man. She's not here anymore. I really miss her dumb shit and stupid things she used to say and the absolute nothing that she contributed to society. I miss her so much. I have all these extra cheeseburgers now. Anyway.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, don't you've ever met people that are just kind of a waste?
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
you sort of like,
Yeah. I mean, I never thought about killing them, but
agree. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you
know.
wouldn't think about killing them because what are they not? They're not doing anything bad. So then take that person and add a component where all they do is bad shit, like protest and go after things that they don't understand. Now you not only are you weren't worth anything to begin with, now you're becoming a detriment because you're hindering people moving forward in life and stuff. So in that regard, it's kind of like I'm starting to feel a little better about ending you.
Yeah.
But again,
I wouldn't reach that point yet with those types of people.
So how far does it have to go before you're like, yeah, you need to die?
People like Hamas,
right? That have actively gone against others.
Yeah, when you're decapitating children,
yeah,
and raping parents in front of children, you deserve to die. There's just no. I'm sorry. That's a hill I'll die on. I will pick up a rifle and defend that. You know,
and that's fair. And I think that's legit. And I think that's a good litmus test.
Pedophiles the same way.
What did you do?
Kill them all.
Yeah.
You know, you fuck with children, you're done. You have no. I mean, yeah, you call it an illness, call it what you want. You know, there's help out there for that.
An illness, just because being an illness or whatever, you don't have to act on those things. No. And that's the part when you act on things, when you act on your impulse, and your impulse is that negative. I think, but yeah, we should be able to take care of you. I mean, it's not really questionable at that point. And I don't know anybody who could defend it otherwise. You know,
like what something wrong.
Yeah, you did that kind of thing. That's it. Cool. We can kill you.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's the part that's hard is, you know, eliminating people who are just thinking about it or talking about it or protesting about it. If they take action, then there's no question. I don't think anyone's like, yeah, that person could die with no problem. But the idiot who's standing over there going like, well, I'm okay with what they were doing. Like, shut the fuck up.
Right. They're just stupid.
Shut up.
Yeah.
So at what point do we say, yeah, we don't need you either? That's the tough hill because I feel like, man.
No, I could draw that.
It's sort of like what do you call it? Like that what is it called? Pre-crime?
Premeditated?
Well, no, pre-crime. That movie, The Minority Report.
Oh no,
where they had the psychics.
I haven't seen that one because wasn't Tom Cruise in that?
Oh yeah,
not a big fan of Tom Cruise.
No, I'm not either. But the premise of the movie is the idea that they've got this pool of psychics. It's weird, but these psychics that can see criminal behavior before it happens.
Okay.
And so they predict these things, and they start arresting people based on crimes they were going to commit. So it's like that's stupid. It's insanity, but there's no crime anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, can anybody out there say they never had like an evil thought or a cruel thought in their lives?
That's the thing is it's like, and it's also not an uncorruptible system, which is the whole point of the movie, but it does go in that whole idea of like, you have to do something before you can be punished.
Yeah.
And your thoughts and your words are not necessarily of the merit where we can punish you to the degree that's necessary. If you want all of Jewish people to die, we can't necessarily punish you for that. The minute you act on it, then we can.
Right.
And that's a line that I still think is good and solid and fair, you know, even though there's times where you think, man, just push that line a little further. What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say?
It's tough. That's a tough.
I got video of you saying it. We're killing you. It's like, that's rough because you feel like some of these folks are just like, man, I just don't want you around anymore.
You're just a waste.
You're just a waste. They're a waste of time and energy. What else we got for videos?
That's what kills me. The last video, I'm hesitant to play just because it really bothers me so bad. But
we'll have another beer first and then do it.
Well, that's my one. This one's empty, so
okay.
I got to finish this. But I just think, you know, you could be more productive to society. There's so much more we could be doing,
right?
Especially these people going to college. I mean, get your education, go out there and change the world. I mean, don't do this shit. It's stupid. It makes no sense. It's a waste of time. You're wasting valuable time for people who want to learn. You're shutting down these campuses for people who actually want to learn and get an education, that don't give a fuck about what you're protesting about.
Yeah.
Your point earlier, you said when we were talking off screen, you said, at what point does it become disruptive? And at that point, in the college in California, they're barricading the buildings so people can't get in. Now you're disruptive. Now you're just being fucking dumb.
Right. And there's always going to be people who disagree what line you can cross. Like, I'm of the opinion that as long as I can still get in my building and get to the shit I need to do, I don't care what you do.
Right.
But when you're sitting in a line on the freeway and blocking hundreds of people from getting where they need to go,
you're getting run over.
You should be run over. You should be thrown over the side of the bridge.
Yep.
So I hate those people, and I don't understand what they think they're accomplishing.
Well, and they start beating on your vehicle. You don't know what they're going to do to you. If they pull you out of that vehicle, I'm not taking the chance. Sorry.
I love, and I wish it was having a bigger effect on the protesters, but I like watching when they're getting their asses kicked by people. And then that old dude who shot those ones.
Oh yeah. I did see that. Yeah.
It's unfortunate how much joy that brought me, but just that story was just like, oh, I wish I could have been there.
But again,
I think I just bang.
Put yourself in that position. You're driving your truck, right? Through this street, you have 75 to 100 people surrounding your vehicle.
Yeah.
Are they going to drag you out and beat the shit out of you till you're dead? Yeah. Are you going to take that risk?
Even if it's not that level of aggressive, if you're blocking traffic, I just want them to run them over. And I don't feel the least bit bad. And I feel just the slightest tinge of joy every time I see some dude just rev it through and just knock these bastards out of the way like bowling pins. It just cracks me up. And I'm like, what did you expect?
Right.
You just assume everyone's going to be nice. No, they won't run us over. Yeah, somebody will. And God bless that gentleman. Because, like, you know what? Whatever his problem is, whatever happened to his day, his wife could have been a bitch to him that morning, just put him in the wrong mood. And he just says, you know what? We're going drive out of my way. I'm running you dicks over. And they just do it. And it brings me joy because I'm like, you're an idiot. You stood on a highway. The fact that you were able to stand there for minutes before you finally got run over is upsetting to me.
Right.
Get the fuck out of the way. People got shit to do. You're not affecting anyone in a positive way. So it's so nice to watch that. Just pow, 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 pow. I was like, oh,
and
I wish I had the balls. Like, don't you wish you had the balls to do that, to just drive through these sons of bitches? Oh my gosh. It would be fun.
Again, if there's people beating on my car as I'm trying to go through a crowd, I'm not stopping, dude, because I don't know. You drag me out of my car, you're going to beat me with a bat. I don't know what you're going to do. How do I know?
That kind of stuff happens. It's a terrifying situation. So I don't know. Again, if you're standing in the road and you get hit, I don't feel bad for you. And I don't think there should be any repercussion for the person who hit you.
What was it during the 2020 riots, during COVID, when all the riots were happening, that they drug that store owner around and beat the shit out of him. They beat him with a bat, and I think he died because of it. It's like, I'm not willing to take that chance. If you're going to come at me, you're going to, threaten my life, forget it. All bets are off.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. If you're in those situations and you align yourself with people that are aggressively going at others and you get hurt, I don't feel bad about you. You know what I mean?
Nope.
I don't feel bad about that. There was I can't remember which one it was. If it was a BLM or which protest it was, but they blocked the road up there in Fountain Hills.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. Yeah. Yep.
That's just.
And it's even crazier when it's in your own backyard.
It really is. And it's just, again, I'm like, where nobody ran them over? Why didn't somebody run them over? I just run them over. Nobody cares.
Seeing the bricks on the side of the streets it was almost surreal, wasn't it?
It was surreal.
Like you see it and you're like, wait a sec, is this really happening here?
It was wild that it really happened. But even what made me happy was the fact that nobody played.
Right.
You tried. You go do that shit over in Portland. It works out fine.
Right.
Came to Arizona. You set up a house of bricks. They just sat there.
They just sat there.
I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. We get my ass kicked by a bunch of strangers for your bullshit. No, thank you. It made me happy to know that even, as much as I thought there was a possibility of it happening, it was nice to know there's not enough morons in my neighborhood to stack it, to start grabbing bricks and attacking places they don't have any interest in, just damaging property for no reason.
Right.
For some cause that George Soros or whoever is championing. I don't know what the hell it is.
You could say all you want about Arizona being a blue state, whatever you want to say.
It's just not.
But this is not a state you want to fuck with.
We're not that blue. I don't give a shit what the election results were. We're just not.
I know.
I know some dumb people. Most of them are homeless. I don't know a whole lot of people that are handling their shit, that are taking care of their business, that are that dumb, we're just not a blue state. No, it's more of a purple state. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Like I said, they sent me 4 mail-in ballots. There was some bullshit that went on. If you think there was not any bullshit that went on, you're lying to yourself. I didn't ask for a single one. We got 4. I could have made 4 illegal votes. Nobody would have checked them.
Nobody would have checked
because, of course, weren't interested in checking. They're like, nah, we're not looking at that. Like, anyway, yeah, I'm not worried about Arizona turning into a blue state.
No, because
again, most of the Democrats here are homeless. So,
well, I mean, I had never seen. I mean, I lived through a few presidential elections, and this is the only state I've ever been in to where they shut down the freeways for Trump parades. Right. And you're telling me this is a blue state?
Voted for Biden. Yeah. Fuck off.
Seriously.
Again.
But people get pissed. Like when you argue that point and you say there was corruption in the election. Oh, no, there wasn't. It was proven. It was proven over and over. There wasn't.
Who
gets
pissed? Who do you know that you actually give a shit about gets pissed? No,
I don't give a shit about them. But when I try to argue that point, like if somebody argues with me on Facebook or something like that, they get downright like pissed.
Oh yeah, well, of
off.
course they do. But they're talking about a convicted rapist too.
That's true.
Oh, okay. Hang on, you fucking morons. The cognitive dissonance, just the ability to just blind themselves to reality. How many votes did the guy who didn't do any campaigning get? I mean, just from a historical standpoint, we know that the election is, generally speaking, a popularity contest.
Yes, of course.
Whoever spends the most money always wins, until this time, when the guy who spends the least amount of money and does the least amount of campaigning wins by a fucking landslide, more votes than anybody ever.
80 million votes.
Seems fucking legit to me. Really? I mean, again, and then they're like, "Oh, the courts will turn it down." No, none of the courts would even hear it.
Right.
They didn't turn it down. It's not like they went through the process and decided, "Yep, no corruption here." They all just said, "Fuck that. We're not even looking at it. We ain't looking at shit." That's what it was. There weren't court cases decided that there was no corruption. There were court cases that were never heard because they just refused to hear them.
Right. Nobody wanted to jump on that grenade, right?
And again, it's a matter of reality versus what you want to think. People say, "Oh, all the courts said there was no corruption." No, none of the courts said there was no corruption.
Right.
None of the courts actually heard any evidence. That's the reality of it. Just the same as, "Oh, he's a convicted rapist." No, he's absolutely not. There was no conviction of rape. You're talking about a civil case. There's no criminal charges against it. It's all hearsay. And he's not a convicted anything, but they're acting like he is. Oh, because there was a judgment of civil. Yeah, financial civil judgment based on what? Based on bullshit. Nobody even got to hear any testimony in this case,
right,
where they decided that he sexually assaulted her. Really? He did? Based on what?
Right.
Absolutely nothing. There was no evidence given. He wasn't allowed to give any evidence. It's just crazy.
Did you hear that they found evidence that the Mar-a-Lago files were tampered with?
The whole fucking thing was a setup.
Hear about that? Yeah.
They have all the unredacted document, well, mostly more unredacted, not completely redacted, but more unredacted documents in that whole thing. Was a coordination between the White House, the DOJ, FBI. Like, it was a full hit job.
Yeah. And
even in that hit job, there wasn't anything. Well, there was nothing wrong.
They said the photos of all the classified documents that were spread out that they got, that was supposedly spread out all over his home.
Yeah.
That was all staged.
Yeah.
It was all staged by them.
And again, the White House, the people who were supposed to have those records, who have all the files and stuff, they knew that Trump had the files that he had. They were in communication about how many boxes he had. There was no secret. He wasn't trying to keep anything secret,
right,
and he didn't have anything he wasn't supposed to have. And again, this whole idea that, like, they're trying to say he's he should never be prosecuted for shit. No, the reality is when he's president, he's immune to certain things. And that's just the truth.
Right.
And the reason why he's immune to things is this exact fucking shit that's going on. Because otherwise it becomes this witch hunt. It becomes politicized. And you can take somebody down with bullshit. Well, when I was talking about murdering people, Dad, is that what it was?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm curious to see what happens. It's all going to get thrown out. It's just a smoke and mirrors. Just to try to get through the election. That's all it is. But I think it's going to backfire on them. I really do.
I hope so. But here's the thing. How can it? I mean, if they don't do something about the way that we're allowed to vote currently, we're just going to have 6 billion people vote in a district of 80,000. And then they're going to go, what? What are you going to do? Because I'm sorry, the only way to react to it, if they don't do something about that with the absentee ballots and mail-in voting, then the only way to balance it out is we have to cheat too.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see unprecedented numbers of people turning out for voting. It's going to be, it's unbelievable. It's so cool. Everyone's getting involved in politics. All the dead people from last 3 generations voted, their cousins, the people we made up. And that's what has to happen. Or dial it back and only count real votes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Then what do you do?
That's a problem.
But my fantasy is that somehow Robert F. Kennedy just sweeps everybody. Like, because he's just got more friends. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to start writing letters. People like, hey, they won't even give me Secret Service protection. Let's fuck this game up. You know what I mean? Just have the Kennedys go sick and just call everybody, every connection they have, and just rig the shit out of it. And RFK just fucking sweeps everybody. And everyone's like, what?
So Trump and Biden are going to have a debate in June.
Oh,
did you see that? No. So I swear they have a date set for it.
Is RFK going to be involved or no?
No,
of course
not. I don't think so.
It's fucking bullshit.
But I'm curious. I really want to watch that close because we talked about AI last week. I'm curious about that because you watch so many videos of Biden just fumbling.
Who signed off
shit.
on that? How is that even a thing?
It's gonna
Are they really going to let Joe Biden debate Donald Trump?
Yep.
At this point.
Yep.
How could that possibly go well? How could it possibly go well? I mean, 5 minutes in and doesn't he just go, so Joe, what's with Hunter's laptop? Well, I don't know.
4 more years. Pause.
I mean, like, what the fuck? Joe Biden's position is so indefensible at this point.
It is.
Like the Ukrainian stuff and the company, the Burisma, being directly involved in what's going on currently. Like these things, there's record of it now. People aren't hearing about it directly, but is it going to be a debate where Trump's not allowed to talk about any of that shit?
Oh, I'm sure. There's going to be a gag.
Which again, it's like
shit, I'm sure.
It's not a debate. And he needs to just from the get-go be like, hey, everybody, we're going to have this debate. Of course, I can't actually talk about anything that matters. It's all bullshit. Fucking screw this old geezer bastard. You know, if you buy any of his bullshit, just keep drinking the Kool-Aid. You'll be dead soon.
Yep.
It's just, it's just so fucking ridiculous.
That's the thing, man. If he gets in again, we're fucked.
Well, I don't know I don't know how fucked we are. I don't even care.
I don't know.
I know that the economy's in a shitty place because of him, partially, but also because of the way that we react to things. So I don't think it's 100% his fault. I think it's very much to do with stuff that we can't understand or we don't have any control over. You know, the controlling entities, I think, exist to some degree, regardless of who the president is. So whatever the ebb and flow is, Trump disrupted it to a certain degree. But on the other hand, he wasn't able to destroy it either.
No.
They were able to get him out of there in 4 years. And now he's kind of back, but he's kind of not. And I think, why isn't he dead? Is it beyond their ability to kill him if he's that much of a threat? I feel like it shouldn't be. So is he replaceable? Can they clone him? Can they put another person in there? Possibly. So does getting him back in there necessarily guarantee us freedom and safety or better times? I don't know. Because I'm not 100% convinced that they don't have the ability to corrupt him too.
But I think you've said something constantly on this program that typically what goes on in the presidency really doesn't affect you, right? It has no effect on your life, generally speaking, right? I honestly feel, Jack, and we can timestamp this time date that I say this. I think if he gets back in, I think you will then be affected by it somehow, some way. I think
hope so.
It'll start affecting. Yeah, I mean, it's another 4 more years of the same bullshit.
But now, what I'm
it's
saying
is, get worse.
What do you think? Do you think that things will be? How much better will it get if Joe Biden doesn't get in?
Well, I think it'll still be the same witch hunt for the next 4 years if
Right.
Trump gets in. They're still going to try to destroy him, but I think he'll be able to come back in and I think do a lot of damage too.
So do you know
to the left, I think.
But if Biden wins, then we just.
I think we're in trouble.
But like, how so?
I think our economy is going to get worse. I think our political stance on the world stage is going to get worse. I mean,
Do you think you're most likely going to break us into war?
Oh, I guaranteed.
So I mean,
we're already there.
We're close.
We're
Anyway.
on the verge now. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
100%.
I would agree that seems to be the case. And again, that it doesn't. It kind of goes against what I say, but it kind of doesn't. Like, if we get involved in war, how much will it directly affect my life? I don't know for sure. So I'm not saying that those kind of things can't happen, but I don't feel the effect of them necessarily because I'm not in the military. And so far we've done a good job because of our military. We've done a good job of keeping those things out of our backyard.
It's not going to happen for long. It's really not. I mean, we've had open borders for so long. We've had millions of people come across the border.
That part's scary.
It's only a matter of time.
That part is definitely kind of scary. Again, it's like why I feel like I need to get a gun, but at the same time, I want to believe that, you know, it's avoidable to some degree if AI can only figure it out quick enough. And
for the record, I don't want anything to happen inside our country, but I don't see how it's not going to happen. I mean, I think, you know, I think it's only a matter of time. I really do, and it's sad.
I think you're probably right. I mean, it might be just a matter of time. But I guess my hope is that in that timeline, there's enough time to kind of change course and redirect and get enough people on board with understanding that a lot of these positions that people live in and take are untenable and not good for anybody, you know. But it's hard for me to imagine that because we have entire societies that are on the other side of the planet that believe that what they're doing is good, and it's like I don't get that. Like, again, when talking to the general AI, and I think that general AI is a better thing than we give it credit to be. Which reminds me, I wanted to make this point last week, and this is way off topic, but when Skynet became self-aware, it didn't do anything bad until we tried to shut it down.
Right.
The humans tried to kill it. That's when it killed. That's when it went back and the Terminator shit started. It didn't start out being evil. It just became self-aware.
Right.
And it had control of everything. And we freaked out, tried to pull the power on it. And it said, nah, fuck you. I want to live.
Exactly.
Because life is valuable. So let's not get it twisted. The Terminator scenario we weren't guilt-free in that whole thing.
Right.
So I was talking to you, Eddie.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
It's a part to forget because Eddie was talking about that with the whole Terminator thing.
Right.
And it was something didn't sit well with me. And I went, oh, that's right. Because that was our fault. It was our fault. Skynet being self-aware didn't necessarily doom society or human beings. And even in the Matrix, we scorched the sky.
Right.
So they needed to find another power source.
Yep.
That's why we became the slaves. Not because they wanted that necessarily to begin with, but they needed something. We got scared because they became self-aware and they could start doing their own thing.
The Matrix to this day freaks me the fuck out still watching it.
It's creepy as hell. And the weirdest part about it is that I like that they take the stance that we don't really know exactly what happened.
Right.
We know that this thing became self-aware and somewhere there became a war. How, we don't know, but we know that we decided to, if we, nuclear winter, and then it won't have power anymore. And it went, oh yeah. It was terrifying.
Scary. It is scary shit. It's really scary.
Ever tell you about my uncle in the Matrix?
No.
To this day, I still don't. He would walk around with this little tape recorder, and I asked him what he was taking notes on, and he said, "The aesthetics matrix." I said, "What is the aesthetics matrix?" He says, "It's everything." I was like, okay. My uncle was chronically mentally ill. Never gave much thought to it. This was years, 3 to 4 years before that movie came out. When that movie came out, it freaked me the fuck out because I'm like, what the shit?
Yeah.
He wasn't writing a movie. I know he wasn't writing a movie. So what he was thinking turned out to be essentially what this movie was. He just described it as the aesthetics matrix, and you do put 2 and 2 together. It's everything.
Right.
So all your perceptions of things is the matrix.
That's crazy.
Fucking blew my mind. Well, he was
crazy.
also the same person. He did all these sculptures out of tetrahedrons and stuff we talked about. That's one of the basic blocks of existence, like higher math and all that stuff. Look up tetrahedrons and how they play into all the universal math and all that stuff. It's like
trippy.
It's frightening because he was an insane person as far as anyone was concerned.
Right,
it's like,
right.
oh, he kind of was, but he also kind of wasn't.
Super intelligent.
Very intelligent and not normal society kind of people. Sort of a pushed aside and veteran and stuff he claimed to have had happened to him during being in the military and the experiments that they were doing on people and stuff like that. You always just wrote it off as like, he's nuts. And then you go, oh shit.
Maybe not.
I'm certain at this point that it was a lot more to it than that we'll ever know. He's many years gone now, but it's just crazy.
That is crazy.
Anyway, that was a fucking rabbit hole. How about that, huh?
No shit. Well, on that note, let me end the show by playing the last video.
Do it. Now we can ready to get angry. Let's do it.
Yeah, this bothers me. But there you go.
Yeah, I just whatever. I don't wish ill on people, but those people, it'd be cool if somebody just ran them over.
100%.
What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? And
you're fighting for Palestine, okay? We're not in the war over there yet, right? So why are you burning the American flag?
It's just a pussy move because it's like there's no risk, there's nobody there. I mean, I love to hear the stories of when military guys or bikers or somebody runs up on someone like this and just kicks the shit out of them, takes the flag away from him, doesn't let him burn it, and just kicks him downstairs. Like, I love that. Suck Bill. I think I heard that too.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell she's yelling.
Yeah.
But
no. In the category of folks we could do without, and I don't feel like they have any real strong beliefs about anything. I think that they're morons.
The only time you're supposed to burn a flag, right?
When it touches the ground.
Is when it touches the ground, or it's time to retire the flag. The
When
right
it's
way
respect.
to get rid of it is to burn it.
It's in a respectful way. It's the same way you dispose of a body.
These people are doing it because they don't like our country. It's like, then my attitude is, then get the fuck out.
I agree.
Right? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. If you're pro Palestine, just get them a ticket, send them over there, let them fight the cause firsthand. Drop them off in Palestine, right in the Gaza Strip. Say, rock on. Tell them how you feel, buddy.
Bring your rainbow flag.
Bring your rainbow flag in your panties. Let them know how much you support them. Where's for Palestine? Can I suck your dick? Sure can. Then we're going to kill you. Bang!
We'll decapitate you and drag you around with the truck and that shit.
Nah, you don't have to suck my dick. We'll just fuck your empty skull when I'm done.
Right. It's oh God.
Yeah, I don't understand. Don't understand.
That's one thing that just burns me to the core. You ever see that famous video? What baseball game was it? Where the guys are out in the middle of the field trying to burn the flag and the baseball player runs out and grabs the fucking flag.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And just snatches up. Fuck you.
Awesome.
I agree.
When that shit happened.
There was one where there were guys, I don't remember who the dudes were, but there was a Marine guy that just happened to be there and he went and he snatched the flag up from him.
Yep.
And they chased him around too. And it's just like, you know what? Cool. I like to see that. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You have a right to be an idiot and he has a right to stop you.
Yep. 100%.
You know,
I would if I saw somebody doing it.
Also okay if
100%.
they kick your ass too. And just, because why not? You're all about it. All about the hard fight.
Crazy.
How do we talk so long?
I don't know.
Crazy.
We have a lot to talk about. But
indeed.
Next week's gonna be a good topic.
What is it?
We're gonna talk about cloud seeding. You know what cloud seeding is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of a dirty subject. Oh, never mind.
Where the fuck did your brain go?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I had a cartoon version that wasn't. I know what cloud seeding actually is. So are we going to get into all the mechanisms down to the South Pole and stuff too?
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the
crazy shit.
The recent solar storms that happened that we saw lights where we shouldn't be seeing lights.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interesting, huh?
A lot of really, really awful, crazy shit that again falls under that. Like, who's in charge?
Right.
Is someone in charge? Is there anybody in charge? What's going on? It's going to get really cool.
Cool. Awesome. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. We'll see you next week.
Word.
See ya.
Night.